my face is frozen. My bad. Hello, my name is Tamashii, and all I gotta say is tamadis. Yes, that is my catchphrase, do not ask. I am a grumpy Latina vtuber who lives in Japan, and I try my best to stream 5 times a week. On one of those days, I do political commentary, focusing on human rights, on Tuesdays, which is literally today. And I do that once a week, by the way, so don't worry if this is not your cup of tea, but if you still want to have fun with me, the rest of the days are variety streaming, so do not need to worry about that. Hello, Relu, thank you for the lurk, and to whoever else that is lurking or who hasn't come yet, hello. A lot of things has happened, y'all. A lot of things has happened within the span of a week. It's just it's been pretty difficult to keep up with a lot of shit, basically. I took like 30 minutes, not even 43 minutes apparently I'm 43 minutes late to stream. This is terrible, technically speaking. Actually, I started 11 minutes ago, so yeah, 30 minutes late for stream. That's because I was still compiling evidence and not evidence but news sources. And I wanted to talk about 2 topics today. Updating you guys on the Flotilla and basically Palestine. It seems like finally the world is finally moving. They're catching up. They're finally like connecting the dots, y'all. Understanding that what's happening in Palestine is a genocide. That, and of course, there has been a fucking live assassination within the same day of the Flotilla, Freedom Flotillas, one of the Freedom Flotilla boats being bombed yet again by Israel. Within the span of hours, those 2 things happened at around the same time. And the Charlie Kirk murder, basically, he was sniped in the neck and just insta killed. He was a political commentator, way bigger than me, but was the right wing's political commentator in a sense where they were basically the right's Hassan Piker. You know, Hassan Abi is a political commentator for the left. The opposite of that would have been Charlie Kirk. That guy, he was murdered in cold blood, sniped in the neck, and yeah, you could capture. I saw it. I didn't even mean to see it, but I woke up one day and all of a sudden everyone's like saying Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, what do you mean Charlie Kirk? And I opened my, I was like, what? Why is everyone talking about Charlie Kirk? I opened up my fucking Twitter. First thing I see is him just talking, wham, shot in the neck, instantly dead. What the fuck? And then I was like, that guy was sniped. There's a sniper on the loose. And let me just tell you, in American politics, this spiked a lot of hatred from the right-wing conservatives in America, and they try to turn it around and blame it on the left progressive thinkers. Listen, okay? A lot of things happened, and I can't even go into it right now without talking first about the Palestine updates and the Freedom Flotilla updates, of course. And honestly, a lot has happened. So I'm not even sure if I'll be able to talk about Charlie Kirk today. That was my plan, was to do Freedom Flotilla / Palestine updates, plus Charlie Kirk, and reflecting on how everyone's reacting to his death, both from all sides of the spectrum, of the political spectrum. It got to the point where fucking Trump was deciding to go after all left liberals, left thinkers, anyone who criticized Charlie Kirk, and threatened them to send them to jail, take away their passports, yada yada, stuff like that. It just got really violent really quickly. And especially The reason why I'm talking about Charlie Kirk is because he was one of the prominent voices to speak against Palestine. And right now, we're in this weird-ass predicament, chat. We are in a weird-ass predicament where somehow there has been conspiracy theories of this man being killed by Israel themselves. And they're really valid conspiracy theories. But at this point, everyone's everywhere, everyone's panicking, America's panicking, a lot of shit's going down. I don't think I'll be able to talk about Charlie Kirk today, so this is most likely going to be a 2-part, maybe even 3-part series where I am talking about both Palestine and Charlie Kirk and how those two things connect and intertwine. So if I don't talk about Charlie Kirk today, I did talk about it a little bit, but if I didn't talk about Charlie Kirk today, I will most likely talk about it next week unless anything crazier happens within the span of a week. And literally always, something always happens. So let's get started. Mate. I forgot to update the window captures here. Give me a sec. Oh my god, sorry. Also, I had like really bad really bad allergies right now, so I might be sniffling hard for breaking cancel. Francisca. Okay, I'm going to put my BRB Christmas screen. I'll be back. I'm gonna try to fix this shit.
I'm sorry, but it's evident. You're on your phone 24/7. No reply when I text at 11:10. And I swear you only tell me what I wanna hear. The real thoughts buried deep beneath the love and fears. I'm in a muddle, lost inside a puzzle here. Honestly, right now I don't really see no love in here. But I saw something in you, something in us. But I'm sorry, but it's evident. You're on your phone 24/7. No reply when I text at 11:10. And I swear you only tell me what I wanna hear. The real thoughts buried deep beneath the love and fears. I'm in a muddle, lost inside a puzzle here. Honestly, right now I don't really see no love in here. But I saw something in you, something in us. But I can't see a future without the trust. So I'm reminiscing visions I had at Parkers. Can't listen but finish what I started. Paint a picture like an artist. You're looking like the victim, but really I am the target. And I ain't asking for anyone's energy. I swear medically I'm needing a remedy or therapy to stop myself feeling so heavy.
Y'all didn't tell me I was muted. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay. There we go. Okay. So last week I was freaking out because of the first attack on the main boat heading towards okay, this ruined my funk. Let me try that again. Last week, I was concerned for the safety of the people who were in the main Flotilla boat containing the same members, the same activists from the last Freedom Flotilla boat who were going to Gaza to provide humanitarian aid and food and stuff. They didn't end up reaching Gaza because they were kidnapped and sent to an Israeli prison later to be deported and, shunned out of the country. Of course, after that happened, they said, we will come back. And they did come back, but with 50 plus boats. Okay, so right now there is 50 boats heading to Gaza from Italy, from Tunisia, from Greece. They're all heading to Gaza to provide humanitarian aid to the people of Palestine. Why? Because our governments all over the world have failed to do so and refused to help these people. Therefore, modern civilians, including activists, journalists, have decided to take matters into their own hands and go to Gaza. Last week, however, Israel decided to drone strike the main flotilla that contained Greta Thunberg in it. Okay, I thought she was dead. I didn't even know if everyone was safe or not, but it ended up being that everyone was safe. Guess what they did 2 days later? 2 days later, after attacking for the first time, they went after another boat, another flotilla boat, okay, in the Tunisian waters, okay? This is the whatever it is that they're fucking throwing at them. It's something that combusts. It's obviously something pretty big. I think, like, if someone got hit with this, chat, this would fucking kill someone, especially if it combusts. And so let's look at the video itself showing, the evidence of them striking the second flotilla boat preparing to head to Gaza. And they try to take it out. Take out the fire. Oh, here's the thing, though. Here's the fucking thing that pisses me off. This thing, whatever it was, and like it ended up being okay, but this thing, whatever it was, almost hit that one guy. Do you see him? He barely managed to run out of the fucking way. This guy right there. That guy right there. Fucking, that almost killed him. That almost fucking killed him. I don't know if that guy was an activist. I don't know if that guy was a fucking civilian. But it's kind of ridiculous how cocky Israel got. They got so cocky that they almost killed this fucking guy by aiming at another flotilla boat 2 days later. There's a Mexican flag there. There's a Palestinian flag there. There's another Palestinian flag there. This boat is actually named, what is the name of this boat? that set the deck of the Alma boat on fire. Okay, that's a Spanish word. I think this boat represented Latin America or something. And fucking they went after them. They almost killed that guy. I just can't believe how he barely, like, he managed to run away just in time. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? If that thing fell on you while it burst into flames, if it doesn't kill you, it's definitely gonna hurt you. Okay? This is why we can't let them get away with this shit, right? 2 days later after attacking the main boat. Can you guys believe that? It really pissed me the fuck off. This is how you know that, you know, they're fucking with people who just want to help others. And it's not right. Okay? The thing is like, we gotta ask ourselves, why did they do this like a day? Is it a day or 2 days after attacking the main boat? I mean, they're getting criticisms all over the world, right? Fuck, I got freaked out. I convinced everyone, well, not everyone, but people I know to at least retweet the evidence of Israel actively attempting to assassinate activists, especially Greta Thunberg, okay? And 2 days later, they do it again. Why? What the fuck? Well, actually, this lovely lady here that we managed to meet her last week, Francesca Albanese, the UN special reporter, had something to say about that. And I like to hear her words. So let's hear what she says. First, I'll read a little snippet of it. The attacks on our flotilla over the past 2 days were meant to intimidate and deter us, but they only show the lengths Israel is willing to go, driven by fear, to sustain its illegal siege on Gaza. As UN Special Reporter Francesca Albanese reminds us, impunity has enabled decades of occupation and crimes against Palestinians. States have the duty to act to protect this mission and to end complicity. This is a test of humanity. The world must break the siege. So let's hear Francesca actually talk about this. People
who hit you as an individual or as a group, they're also doing that to teach a lesson, to make sure that this works as an alert, as a red flag, so that others will not follow you. If there is a state behind it, not only shows the level of conviction that impunity is still that enabling ground, but also it shows the fear. Look at the length whomever is behind this attack, if it's a state, is going to get to in order to intimidate the people, in order to create chaos in this country, which has so peacefully and so generously welcomed the flotilla, and the fact that it happens in Tunisia, in another country, in Africa, in the global south, means a lot. These boats are not going to Israel, they're going to Gaza, and member states should act to protect you. Impunity is the ground that has allowed the systemic and widespread illegality, the structural illegality of Israel's occupation and all the crimes that it has committed. Impunity, meaning lack of compliance with international law, it's what has allowed the system to root. But the fertilizer has been direct participation and complicity of a number of states who have provided military support, intelligence. They have continued to normalize Israel's apartheid, lawful occupation, by continuing to trade, for example, and to shelter Israel from accountability. In an ideal world, this is what I would see. Member states calling you and saying, we are sending our own navies People have been calling for a protective presence. We will organize that as well. But right now, we are going to send our navies to break the siege and to take a lot of humanitarian aid, including food, baby formula, portable toilets, and water. We'll interact with the United Nations on the ground, with UNRWA first and foremost, with no other actor, especially those who represent a joint criminal endeavor under the camouflage of providing humanitarian aid, and you just support us. This reality doesn't require intelligence. It requires courage. This is a test for humanity, and I hope that instead of people pulling out, you will have even more support.
Now she also makes a really valid point. Like, why are they attacking these ships? Why are they attacking two ships that is going to Gaza in order to provide humanitarian aid once again? And I like that she said it's not like we're going to Israel. They're not going to Israel. What the fuck is the threat here? What's the threat? Palestine is not Israel. Okay. So yeah, it's because they want to threaten others because they themselves are threatened. And in a sense, that in itself is a good thing. Okay? So will this stop them from sailing? Like, what one can ask themselves, well, what happened after this? Like, they got attacked once, now they got attacked fucking twice. Are they gonna stop now? Like, what's gonna happen after this? And so this is a Instagram reel with the steering committee member Saif Abu Kashik, and they address the media. Apparently this is the guy who helps steer the boats, from what I understand, but we met him last week. He made a testimony after the first attack. So let's see what he has to say. I will not follow myself. Okay.
That are still standing in Gaza. Those crimes are the ones that we need to focus on. It's very important that we have so many people coming from all around the world to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people, but it is that fact. We are coming to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. People have been resisting for their just cause for so many years, and us, we are no heroes. We are just part of the story. The whole focus should be on the crimes that are being committed in Gaza, on genocide, and on the resilience of the Palestinian people.
What happened exactly tonight?
We received the same report of yesterday.
Okay, so it was... I'm confused whether it was like a day or 2 days. Like, I think it took them like literally just one day to attack another boat. But I hear 2 days later as well.
Suspicious drone that fired on our ship. We have seen some videos that were shared on social media that explains the same context of yesterday. It's the same psychological effort that Israel practiced to terrify people and to prevent them from the solidarity, from their continuous stand with the Palestinian people.
But the plan for tomorrow
is to go. Nothing has changed. Unless there are changes in the weather or technical issues in on our ships, or certain situation with our participant that does not allow to sail, there has been absolutely no change on our determination. Everyone we spoke to, they are determined to continue being part of this mission.
Can I get you to say that we will still sail tomorrow with a date?
We will still sail tomorrow.
That's the plan? Yeah, tell me.
It is the plan. Well, it's already today because we have passed midnight, so hopefully we managed to make sure and check on everyone here. We spoke to them through our communication channel. Everyone is safe, everyone is calm. We had one of our boats going around to check on everyone else. They are calm, so we will continue our preparation for our sail today.
Today. And last night after the drone attack on family, the other boats evacuated. Are the other boats evacuating tonight?
So far we have not received any request of evacuation. However, if those requests are received, they are well deserved and totally legitimate. We do not put people in risk. People are here to make sure that that everyone is in the sea is safe and they are secure. If someone feels that they are unsafe and they need to go to land, it's a very legitimate request to do. Just remember, these are civilians, people who came from so many backgrounds. They are not specialized to deal with this type of operations. We are doing what we are doing because leaders and politicians are failing to do their basic job. So if someone witness a bombing from a drone and they are terrified, it's the most normal thing to happen. It's the most normal thing that people would say, I might need a day to relax. I have been receiving so many requests today from the participants who were on the Familia through the trip, through the sail to come here saying, we want to go to our ship. So these actions is not pushing people back. It's at the contrary. It's making it very clear that we have chosen the right path, that what we are doing today is the best option to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. The nature of Israel, a criminal government that is willing to commit crimes everywhere, simply to stop solidarity, to stop a civilian movement that is bringing humanitarian aid. So we are sailing.
Thank you.
That's very powerful. So yeah, as he said, they are still going to sail. They're not going to stop sailing. Once again, a bunch of these people are most of them are civilians, including activists, right? But most of them are civilians. And, as he said, it's totally okay if people get deterred from continuing this mission. They're not equipped to do this mission, quite honestly. And it's but because of the failure of our governments not taking any action, what is one to do? What is one to do other than civilians themselves, the average people, you and me, who are willing to go all the way to Gaza to provide the fucking medical aid our goddamn selves, okay? That's why there's 50 boats from around the fucking world. 50 boats from around the world, all meeting up in Tunisia, all meeting up in Italy, Greece, going to Gaza. And the second bombing of a second Freedom Flotilla boat with humanitarian aid, instead of deterring people from continuing the mission, it actually enhanced the passion that people have to help the people of Palestine. Okay? So these fuckers, once again, like Francisca said, they are doing this. They're threatening other people because they themselves are threatened. Okay? Finally, we found a way to kind of shut them up a little bit. But let's not get too comfortable here, because this has been done before. I don't know if in this great scale, right? Perhaps it was still with maybe less boats. But there has been missions before to go sail to Gaza and help these people. And many times Israel has actually killed those people trying to do that. But we've never heard of it because it wasn't big news back in the day. It wasn't this huge thing. Palestine wasn't really considered to be anything until now the whole world knows of the atrocities happening over there. When the people leaders won't lead right, the people will have to do it instead. That is true. Hello, Zaya36. Also, hello, Careless and Relu. I don't know if I said hi, but we were having some technical difficulties for quite a while. It took way too long to start the stream. I deeply apologize, but thank you for whoever is here. Actually, can I check if there is still a delay on the stream? I'm going to say 1, not right now, but once I say it, can you type in 1 if you hear it? Okay, 1. Okay, there's not that much of a delay. Okay, there we go. That took not even 3 seconds. Thank you, Zaya36. Hello, Sharking. Actually, before we go to the next topic, the next topic will be well, not the next topic, but the next evidence will not evidence but question that I have is like, okay guys, how did this idea of all these boats from around the world even start? Of course it started with one boat, then it started with another one boat. But where the fuck did all these 50 boats come from? And so we're gonna actually see the origins of that. But before that, there's a reason why. Okay, and then after I show you guys that specific video, I'm also going to show something, or not show something else, but I'm gonna hear something else. So Shark actually in the last stream, last week's TamaTalks, they referenced in my YouTube chat, they referenced a what's it called? A poem? Is either a poem or a quote, and they wanted to correct themselves. So they said it was from the original comes from a German called Martin Niemöller. I can't pronounce that, but the version I know and saw for the first time is actually from a Brazilian. And then they asked me if I wanted to know the real version of that, and I said, yeah, you know, I'd love to just hear about it. And so they shared the version that they know. And the thing is though, is that I didn't even reply. Sorry, Shark, I didn't reply to your message precisely so I can see the red notification. The red notification on Discord, because if I don't see it, I'm gonna forget about it and I won't show it on stream. So that's why. Also, the same thing happened to Ali and someone else. But here, let me read let me read it. So okay, this is no problem. Let me read what Shark wrote. First they came for the socialist and I kept quiet because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists and I kept quiet because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews and I kept quiet because I wasn't a Jew. That's when they came for me and there was no one left to defend me. And that was from Martin Niemöller. That's the original German one. I thought you were gonna share the Brazilian one, but I guess what you meant is that the one that you told me was the Brazilian one. My bad. But yeah, thank you so much, Shark. Now I can finally reply to you. Listen, chat, I have terrible memory loss. Thank you. I have terrible memory loss. If I don't see the little red on it, I will forget to show it on stream. So thank you once again, Shark, for sharing that with me. Now let's continue the stream topic. So let me read chat first though. Fair. I mind if you want, I can do that. Yeah, we'll do it later whenever you want. It's cool. But I might take another week to be like, oh, let me share it on stream a week later. But I have to have the red notification thingy so I remember to actually look at it a week later. Because I use, actually now I've begun to use my news channel on my public Discord. Shout out to my Discord to anyone who hasn't joined it yet. But I have a news channel on there. Where I post all the sources, everything that I plan to talk on TamaTalks. Next, and I do like little summaries of whatever I share, of the sources that I share. And actually, it's a good refresher. So I'm using it right now to share my thoughts and ideas and blah 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 blah, my commentary basically. So if y'all want to share anything, I prefer if you guys share it on the public server. It's on the Q&A/opinions or ideas about news sources like that. But anyway, let's go back to my question. So how did this idea start? At first, the modern day flotillas started with one boat, then another boat, and both those boats were stopped before they could reach Palestine, and everyone was kidnapped and taken to Israeli prisons, okay, where they were later on deported, and they were forced to sign some documents saying that they would not do this again. And if they refused to sign those documents, they were like kept in prison and intimidated, even tortured, and just banned from Israel for eternity. But after those two incidents happened, the activists on that boat said, hey, we will come back. And they came for the third time. 3 is my lucky number, y'all. The third time they tried this, which is right now, there's over 50 boats heading to Gaza with humanitarian aid. So how? What started this? Why this time, right? So we will look at that now. Let me turn off the music. Actually, this started because a well-known young Gazan journalist, Bisan, I don't know if anyone knows who Bisan is, but she's like one of the most recognizable journalists in Gaza. Basically, a young person who was forced to become a journalist. I will not follow myself. Okay, thanks. But yeah, this is Bisan. You have probably seen her before. I'm not sure though. But if you haven't, you have now. She's one of the very prominent young Gazan journalists out there. And her, among others, have been documented what's been happening in Palestine since October 7th and even before that. But she was just like a college student who was into photography, And all of a sudden, now she's forced to survive every day and hope she isn't killed by Israel. And Bisan is always talking to the activists, right? The prominent activists who care for her and her people. And let's see what she has to say. Let's see what she has to say. Because she actually was apparently the one who she's always demanding people to do something, by the way. I always watch her. I've been watching her since after October 7th. It's been 2 years now. And I do my best to watch her. She reports on everything, and she's always demanding the world to do more. Why isn't the world doing more? And, guilt is always felt within me because she's right. I have no excuse as a human being to just be chill about what's happening in Gaza. But this time, her voice was finally heard in a actually productive way. Not like fucking all this performative stuff, that people offer. Their condolences, their recognition of Palestine. All that shit is okay, what good use is it if it's not stopping the genocide in Gaza? And so this time, her voice was finally heard and action has finally been taken. So let's hear what she has to say. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
We are all.
I like how it zooms in, but in a very uncomfortable way. It zooms in the worst way possible.
We are all, by the way, saying this in Gaza. Why we don't have 20 flotilla, 20 boats? The Israelis can stop one, can stop two. Yes, they can arrest the third boat crew. Yes, they can prevent the fourth.
Yes, they can try to make, to switch the cards and to call their governments for the fifth, but they can't stop 10, 20, 30.
Gaza has called us to act. The people have responded with not just 20, but dozens of ships carrying food, medicine, and revolutionary hope.
Since 2009, 2010, we've been hearing about the Flotilla, about the aids coming through the sea, about people coming from Greece, Italy, Turkey, but they have never reached, and it's the same reason, because of the Zionists attacking these ships, attacking these activists.
This is the proof of them raiding the past Flotilla ships. That was from 2009, that clip.
These threats will not make us turn around. It's the same like in Madeleine. All the drones that came every night to scare us, the bureaucratic warfare against us, and the interrogation after we were intercepted and brought to the Zionist entity against our will. They just want us to be silent. When we were attacked and kidnapped, we made a promise to the Palestinians and we said, we will be back. But we will be back with more people. We will be back with more boats. We are keeping our promise. We will deliver the much-needed humanitarian aid. We will open up a humanitarian sea corridor. And we will certainly not get scared because of these threats. Our hearts are full of solidarity, hope, and most importantly, determination.
There we go. So, yeah. Bisan said, I've seen this happen before. And it's always failed. Why? Because, they always stop the boats from reaching Gaza. But can they stop 10, 20, 30 more than just one boat? I don't think so. And I think we're starting to see that. We are actually starting to see that. Let me read my chat. Oh, my YouTube chat, actually. My internet gave up and it worked. I don't think my mobile data doesn't like Twitch, but it put me back. It's okay. I mean, if you guys can't watch on Twitch, I don't mind you guys watching on YouTube. I think YouTube is easier on when it... I don't know, actually. I'm confused. I don't know which one's better. But if YouTube works for you, you can watch on YouTube. No problem. That's all good. It might be harder for me to see your messages though, so I do apologize if it takes me a while to read what you say. But isn't that amazing, chat? This is also... I recommend following the main global Sumud Flotilla account. They're actually live right now. I wonder what's happening. I don't know. Does that mean they're live? I think that means they're live, or maybe they added new stuff. No, I think if it was live, it would say so. Nah. Wow, sorry. I have 3 different languages in my head right now. So if I sound weird, it's because I'm code switching in an odd way. But yeah, I recommend you guys following this account on Instagram. You won't see gore. Do not worry. If that makes you uncomfortable, you might see starving. This is actually historical. I think this is, I mean, all of it's historical, but you won't see as much gore as you would see in a actual journalist's account. So this is dedicated to sharing the updates on the boats, especially here in Let's Talk Palestine as well. I recommend those 2 accounts. But yeah, I think it was very amazing that Bisan was like, okay, why one? Bring more boats. And the people heard it and they provided. So as of 19 hours ago, it's not even, it's more. Actually, when I was writing this, it was like 5 hours ago when I was like adding all of the evidence into my doc here. But so this is more than this is since 8 p.m. but 8 p.m. yesterday, my time, JST. But the fleet that departed Barcelona is already at sea, and the Tunisian boats are now setting sail in stages. They will converge on the water and continue together to meet the Italian and Greek ships. So the mission update is, chat, they're on their way. Finally, it has started. The boats are now strictly heading towards Gaza. And they are heading towards Gaza in stages. So they're not all going at the same time. They're all going in different stages. So, like maybe I think I'm just gonna play it safe here. Like 10 boats are gonna go. First stage, 10 boats. Second stage, another 10. Another 10, another 10, another 10. And so forth. I'm assuming something like that. There's also people who are still volunteering. And, boats that are still preparing from different countries that will take a bit longer to join the mission. But the mission has officially started as of yesterday. Okay. They are now heading towards Gaza. Let me read my chat. I'm just happy they could gather so many people from so many places. It sends a powerful message to the world leaders and civilians. No, yeah, of course. I am happy as well. I was in America actually when I heard the call to action, where all of a sudden the activists were like, hey, do you want to go to Gaza with us? Because we can't do this on our own. We cannot do this on our own. And all of those activists, it took one person, one activist from whatever country they were from, chat. Think about it. Think about it. One activist from whatever country they were, and whoever heard those people and liked those people were inspired by those people. It only took one person, okay? The last boat had like 10 to 15 people on it, including Greta Thunberg. The whole goddamn world mostly knows who Greta is, okay? And if it's not the whole world, it's definitely the Western countries that know her. I know her. I know her, and I'm inspired by her. You know her, whoever knows her that is from a Western country or was raised in a Western country, you know her. And it only took one person's voice to inspire a bunch of people. Okay, of course it took time, unfortunately. It took way too long. But that's not the fault of the activists. They've been talking for a long ass time. Okay? They've been talking for a long years. I've been talking about this for 2 years, chat. 2 goddamn years, okay? And I'm not an activist. Imagine them. How long they've been talking about all of the issues that they've been talking about. It's the fault of our governments not doing shit and providing aid to the colonizers. Okay, let's have that very clear. But it only took one person, and the moment that they called for action to the civilians, they said, "Hey, we have a form. If you want to come to Spain to Spain." And try to see if you're capable of joining us. Not capable, but if you want to join us and see if you can join us going to Gaza to try to provide humanitarian aid over there, here's the form and sign up for it. And for me, I don't have money. I can't go to... It's not even that. It's just like, I'm not brave enough, basically. I'm not brave enough to leave the comforts of me living in Japan. I don't want to quit my job. I'm too, I'm a coward. But if I didn't have as many responsibilities and if I was somehow in Europe, I would have definitely tried to at least talk about it and apply for that. But many people were willing to sacrifice things. Many people were willing to sacrifice their daily lives to go help people in Palestine. And those were the civilians who heard those calls, who have been hearing the voices of these activists and who have been inspired to be like, yeah, you know what? I want to help. I want to help, and I want to join the freedom flotillas. And now they're setting sail. So as of yesterday, so it won't be many days yet. Yeah, as of yesterday. And actually, the main global smooth flotilla.org, like the website, actually they have trackers, chat. It's so fucking cool. Here, I'll show you. Let's zoom out a little bit. Actually, no, let's zoom in. Let's continue that. But I'll just fix what you guys see here. So this is the official account, not account, a website of the Global Smooth Flotilla website. And they have trackers for each goddamn boat. Here is the boat that was bombed. The second boat that was bombed, their boat number 1 that started sailing. They even documented the attack that I showed you guys. I wonder what happens if I press it. Oh, it shows you where exactly it was attacked. Interesting. Okay. And they have documentation of, you know, a picture. And I've already showed you guys. But yeah, they're right here. This is the second boat that was bombed. About 5, like literally a few days after the first boat was bombed. But if we zoom out here, let's see. This is Tunis. This is Italy right here, right? There's Greece. Okay, we're zooming out. Right here, that dot right there. Do you see that? I'm gonna zoom in. This red is Gaza. This is Gaza. This is Khan Yunis. This is Palestine. What's left of it. Okay? This sliver is Palestine of what's left of it. It used to be this whole thing right here, but of course it got colonized to the point where it's just this small section here. And these fuckers, Israel, is bombing that little small section right there. This is the only way. And by the way, this is a border right here. You can't see my mouse, but right there where it says Rafah, this whole line right here, that's a border between Palestine and Egypt. Egypt has refused to open its borders and let the people escape. That is something that you should criticize Egypt for as well. The rest of the borders is Palestine surrounded by Israel is not real. The colonizers, basically. Now, their only way of escape is literally through the Egypt border if they wanted to, or Israel, but we know that won't happen. Actually, I don't know if, like, someone could be like, well, why don't they use boats? Why don't they fly away? You know, why don't they try to escape? But here's the thing. Israel has controlled every little thing that goes into Palestine. From food to even water. Okay, the Palestinian people have permission to only have a certain amount of materials of any way, of any form. They've made it purposely so they won't be able to make weapons. They won't be able to make protective substances that could be used like on their houses for protection of future bombings. Also including like making a big enough boat to be able to escape. Palestinians aren't allowed to travel the world unless they are given like a visa from a foreign place. But the thing is if they leave Palestine, they are forever they will never be able to return to Palestine ever again. So a lot of people refuse to travel or get an education in a different country or something like that, because most of the time, if Israel is being an asshole, they actually prevent people from coming back to their homeland. So everything has been very controlled in Palestine, to actually plan for the genocide, to make it easier to kill everyone in Palestine. But if we look here, the closest boat seems to be 17 from is this a part of Italy? I think it is. What is this boat? Oh my god, there's a lot of boats. Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ, it's hard to see here. Oh, they're coming from Augusta, but this boat 17, there's a lot of boats here actually. I think these boats haven't sailed yet. They're preparing to sail from Italy. But I know there are boats heading. Then okay, let's look at the boats that are already heading then. So since 17 hasn't actually sailed yet, I'm assuming. Oh, actually it says right here, huh? 17, 17. Let's press this again. 17. Let's look here. Oh, it says it's sailing. Maybe it's just not. I mean, I guess boats aren't like, you know, fucking airplanes, but let's look at boat 18. Or actually, wow, there's a lot of boats here. Let's press on that one. Yulada, that's boat 15. This one, Huga, that's boat 16. There's a bunch of boats. I just think it's super cool that they're keeping track of each individual boat. There's 40 boats as of now. So that means there's about 10 boats missing that haven't actually started sailing, because they told us that there's 50 plus boats heading to Palestine, or at least preparing to. But no, yeah, it seems like the boats from Tunis are heading straight to Gaza. And I think once they reach like around this area here in the middle, that's when the boats where that Italy is at, I think that's when they will start sailing in order to join them side by side and start sailing together across the Mediterranean Sea and go to Gaza. So if anyone wants to keep track of that, I will share the links in chat. This is the tracker that is tracking the boats heading to Gaza. And I think it's that's just really cool in my eyes. Well, the tracker helps to observe if something happens to the boat, they know where and when. Yep. So it's everything's just well documented. And it has to be. So okay. The Flotilla boats are officially heading to Gaza. We can see that here through the tracker as well. But what has happened throughout all of this as well? Well, let me just tell you guys. Israel has gotten cockier and cockier. Especially with the... Now, this is where I'm going to hear Ali's voice. I purposely did not check this. But Ali sent me a voice message showing me how to pronounce Qatar. Qatar. Let's see what it says. Qatar. There we go. Now I can like it finally. Qatar. Now I can say thank you as well. Listen. if I don't have the red alert thingy, I will forget about it and I won't correct myself. But Qatar. So Israel has gone cocky and cockier, chat. And it is proven with the Qatar attack. Actually, Ali basically reported it to me on stream, I think like minutes or perhaps hours as it happened, that they attacked Qatar. And I was like, what? But in my head, I was just like, didn't they attack like... in my head, I was like, didn't they attack like these other countries? And so I was a bit like frazzled, and I didn't pay too much mind to it because I have it, I didn't have the information on me. I was talking about like the first attack on the family boat heading to Gaza. But now I know, chat. And these motherfuckers attacked Qatar, among other countries, okay? So basically they're going after everyone, no matter what, any country. And so the question is, will the US continue to let Israel get away from their war crimes? Because at this point it's kind of fucking ridiculous. And you'll see why. But let's look at this right here. So this is documentation of them bombing Doha in Qatar. So let's read what this is. It says, Israel literally just bombed Doha in Qatar to kill the entire team negotiating the ceasefire. Okay, it's literally one of the safest and most peaceful cities on the planet. I don't have sources on that, but I'm gonna believe them. Israel is the most dangerous and least accountable nation on earth. That I don't need sources. That has been proven. I don't even need a... Well, actually, I do need to show you guys. Here's the video of them fucking bombing Qatar as they're trying to make a ceasefire deal. So let me read what this post is. What does it say here? It says, why weren't the US... Oh, shit. I didn't even read this. Chotomate. Here, let me pause that. And I've seen this video before. There should not be any graphic images other than, oh my god, they just bombed a fucking building and killed people in it. But there shouldn't be any gore at least. But let's see. Why weren't U.S. regime, there you go. Why weren't U.S. regime anti-missile systems activated to help protect Qatari airspace? Because Washington was helping Netanyahu. That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Why? Because after this attack, Trump was like, oh, we talked to Israel and we told them to be careful who they attack, making it seem like they didn't know that Israel was going to attack Qatar. But to be fair, I think at this point we all know that Israel gets permission from Daddy USA to do whatever the fuck they want. And if that's true, if Qatar is one of our allies and there is an anti-missile system to protect Qatar, why weren't they activated when this happened? And well, let's look at them attacking Qatar.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Sana hindi pumami yung kotse. Oh my god!
So that sounded like 2 bombs. Jesus. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. That's... Wow. Okay, so that's proof of them attacking Qatar. Let's look at the commentary of this event. I really like this guy. I first heard of this guy. He when he was in Hassan's stream. Very, very good journalist. I really enjoy his stuff. Very good commentary. Let's see what he has to say about this attack in Qatar.
This bombing of Hamas's headquarters in Doha is yet another sign that the world has to recognize as the truth. Neither the United States nor Israel are interested in actually having a negotiated end to this war. If we summarize what we're looking at, days ago, the President of the United States gave Hamas a proposal that was 100 words long. So while they're deliberating this proposal from the United States President, who said that he now wants to take the direct lead in negotiating an end to the war, you have Israel bombing the headquarters of the political leadership of Hamas, targeting the very people who would be on the other side of the negotiating table.
Witnesses reported hearing multiple explosions during Tuesday's attack, but Hamas says none of its leaders were killed. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The United States gave its consent to the operation. There's a question of, was the U.S. directly involved with it?
One expert has called the attack in Qatar, which hosts the largest U.S. airbase in the region, a potential watershed moment for other Gulf states.
This isn't an anomaly. This is an operating plan. This is why they assassinated Ismail Haniyeh, the former political leader of Hamas and chief negotiator, last year in Iran. They were also negotiating a ceasefire agreement.
Yep.
And it's reminiscent of the dirty operation that Trump pulled when Israel and the United States launched their 12 days of sustained bombing of Iran. It was supposedly going to be a continuation of negotiations between the US and Iran, and they used that as cover to attack Iran. Now, I'm not saying that the United States set this up as an intelligence operation, but because the United States track record is out in the open, and because Trump's recent track record is out in the open, there are serious questions that we have to ask about the extent of US involvement in this attack inside of the boundaries of a sovereign state, Qatar, against the political leadership of an organization the U.S. claims it wants to negotiate with.
Scahill says the attack lays bare key facts about the U.S. and Israel's ongoing participation in ceasefire attack.
Whether it was Joe Biden or Donald Trump, the point of the so-called ceasefire negotiations was never to lead to a resolution of dignity or justice for Palestinians. For 76 years, Palestinians have been subjected to a US-backed Israeli war of annihilation. And the past 2 years have been a very intense, massively, murderously bloody microcosm of the past 76 years of history.
Sorry, I have to take some medicine. So here's the thing, they always do this shit. They always do this shit. And that should honestly piss everyone off. If you're not pissed already, this should piss you off. That every time there's an opportunity to have a ceasefire negotiations, okay, that's the whole point, right? Don't they want a ceasefire? Don't they want to negotiate, right? Don't they want to let the what's it called, the hostages out and stuff? Why are you trying to kill Hamas wherever they go to make these negotiations? Really bombing fucking... Did you hear how many bombs went off? Like, I heard at least 2 or 3. And they were big-ass bombs. They were big-ass bombs. What the fuck? How do you negotiate with that? Of course they're not gonna release those hostages because they know that you don't care for them if you're bombing and trying to kill everyone involved in the negotiations. Israel refuses to do negotiations, and once they pretend they do, by the way, once they start pretending, oh yeah, we're doing our best, but Hamas won't let us, yada yada. Hamas won't let us do the negotiation, guys. They bomb any country that tries to help find a resolution and negotiate a ceasefire. It happened with Iran, and now it happened with Qatar, which is kind of crazy, especially if Qatar is one of our allies. I will be right back. Okay. don't don't worry too much about not being here or not. But yeah, it's fucking insane. It's insane. Cause like there's also civilians and stuff. They're trying to cease fire. What the fuck? I'm not surprised USA and Israel are together. 0% surprised. No, yeah, of course. That has not been a surprise to me at all. At this point, I'm used to it. After like 3 to 4 months, I kind of accepted that fact. So they told Israel to be careful who to attack, but whom then? That's the question. Yeah, that's the thing. They're like, hey, be careful. You should be more careful. And I'm like, bruh, what do you mean? They should just not be doing that shit anywhere in the world. Like, what? The US as a country is just very bloodthirsty. Always willing to just start a war for no goddamn reason. And suck at doing it as well. And at this point, I think they're just using Israel as a puppet so they can say that they weren't involved. It's not like we dropped bombs anywhere, you know? Sort of thing. But nah, they're the ones giving the okay for it, so like, hello. And this is why I was like, basically they said on Tuesday, that was literally last week, chat, exactly 1 week ago. That's when Ali wrote in chat, hey, they just bombed Qatar, right? And I was like, what? You know, huh? And the reason why I was so confused was because within that time frame, within the time frame that they bombed Qatar, okay, it had been 72 hours where Israel was able to bomb 6 different countries in the span of 72 fucking hours, chat. At that point, I was confused. I was like, wait, didn't they bomb like Yemen, Syria, Lebanon? What? You know, like, then Ali comes in my chat and says Qatar, and I'm like, what are they? Didn't they just, what? You know, I was just very confused. So let's look at that. Okay, here I'm going to play the music because it's kind of awkward with no music on. But look at this, chat. Maps. Israel has attacked 6 countries in the past 72 hours. And let's read what countries those are. In just 3 days, Israel has carried out strikes in Palestine. Of course, duh. Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia. You know why? Why are they saying Tunisia, chat? Because of the boats. Of the Freedom Flotillas. That was basically an attack on Tunisia waters. Qatar and Yemen. 6 countries, chat. 6 goddamn countries in the span of 72 fucking hours. That is fucking insane. Look, right here. You can't... Here, let me zoom in. Let me try to zoom in. Why is it at 50%? What the hell? 100%. Okay, that's 90%. Why is it that close? That is... Okay, you need to chill out. That's 90%, but it looks like 200. Why is it like this? It looks so weird. But yeah, if you look at this goddamn map, they're kind of spread out. It's kind of crazy. That's 2 attacks per day. Shit, I didn't even... 2 attacks per day, chat. On various countries. 2 attacks per day. So on Tuesday, Israel launched a targeted airstrike on Hamas leadership compound in Qatar's capital, Doha, during a meeting to discuss a U.S. proposed ceasefire for Gaza. Oh my god, are you... It's just a goddamn shame, honestly. Let me see. You guys can't even see that. Let me make it easier to read for y'all, my bad. Dun-dun-dun. Is that easy for you guys to see? Let me zoom in here. I think. Okay, that's better. Oh my god. The strike killed 6 people in total, including the son of senior Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya, director of the al-Hayya office, 3 bodyguards, and a Qatari security officer. So they ended up killing a civilian from Qatar. However, its top leaders are reported to have survived the attack. So they failed, by the way. They just killed people for no goddamn reason. Not that I wanted them to succeed, but like, of course not. But like, for what purpose was all of this for? 6 countries within 72 hours. What the fuck? And throughout all of this, Israel continues to bombard Gaza. Israeli attacks across Gaza have killed at least 150 people and injured more than 540 others since Monday. I mean, I think at this point, they're saying that every hour a child or a Palestinian is killed in Gaza. Every hour, chat. Every hour. On Monday, 67 people were killed and hospitals recovered 320 wounded. Jesus, that's even more than an hour, chat. That's even more than an hour. I already took my pills. Including 14 people killed while seeking aid, while 6 people, among them 2 children, died from famine-related causes. On Tuesday, another 83 people were killed and 223 were injured. Israel is continuing its assault on Gaza City, targeting high-rise buildings, destroying infrastructure, and forcing residents from their homes, leaving many with nowhere safe to seek shelter. And this is a news report, but let me pause the music. It's 3 minutes long, but we'll see some of it. I wonder if you guys can see that though. That's... Every day of the fucking week. And yeah, I can't show more of that because I didn't pre-watch it, so I don't know if there's score. My bad. But I think I managed to scroll quick enough. But all of those buildings were on a different fucking day, chat. Did you see that? All of those buildings being destroyed were on different days, and let me just tell you that those buildings definitely still had people in them, okay? Since its onset in October 2023, Israel's war on Gaza, it's not a war, it's a genocide, has killed at least 64,656 people, including at least 404 who have died of starvation. Thousands more have been lost under the rubble and are believed to be dead. So it's not even an accurate number. And here is what's been officially reported since October 7th, 2023. At least this amount of people. Since Israel has broke the ceasefire March 18th to September 10th, 2025, at least over 12,000 people have been killed. And then this red is all the damage that they've done through bombings of the entirety of Palestine. It's basically the whole thing. So, oh, despite truce, Israel bombs Lebanon. Jesus Christ. They're just, like, you see, like, fucking, are you, again, 72 hours, 6 countries. They're psychotic, chat. they aren't psychotic. It is so unimaginably evil. Yes, like, people don't understand how evil this country is. They just don't fucking stop. 2 attacks per day is crazy. And so, let's see the drop site source. I'll be very careful here because they actually show drop site is a very good news source, but it's so good because they show like actual gore. Like, they show everything that actually happens and they don't censor it. So I don't recommend you guys, if you have Twitter or anything, I don't recommend you guys following it if you guys are very sensitive to that. It will ruin your mental, as someone who's been ruined by by these images. But if you would like to become witnesses of what is happening in Palestine, that is a very good news source. But do not fear, this specific one does not have any gore and stuff. Let me see. I will not look at the comments though, because that's where they show stuff as well. But update. This is from the attack in Yemen, okay? The death toll of Yemeni journalists and media workers killed in Israeli airstrikes on September 10th, 2025, which was 6 days ago, about 6 to 7 days ago. It's 7 days now for me specifically, but I live in Japan. Has reportedly risen to 30 people, so they ended up killing 30 people. Wait, now 30 journalists? This is not only just people, it's like fucking journalists and media workers. Oh my god. The Israeli military described its attacks that day as precise attacks. Again, chat, it is a war crime to attack fucking journalists, civilians, media workers, hospitals. That is a war crime. So again, they're just really proud of what they're doing. On military camps, a fuel storage site, and the headquarters of a Houthi military public relations department, which they said was a propaganda center used for psychological operations. So what does that even mean? Propaganda center used for psychological operations against Israel? Bro, isn't that what you're doing to your prisoners? Against people who are pro-Palestine? What? Oh my god, we're gonna bomb this fucking... Wait, what did they bomb? Witnesses in Yemen, however, noted the strikes hit several civilian sites, including the offices of 2 newspapers, Al Yaman and 26th of September, I think. Wow. So let me get this straight. They bombed civilian areas and they bombed journalistic buildings, basically is what I'm hearing here. And they claimed that it was because they were receiving, the country as a whole, Israel was receiving psychological pain from the propaganda in these journalistic buildings. This is idiotic, chat. And let me just show you this. These are the people they killed. These are all journalists, by the way, from Yemen. Jesus, oh my, these are all journalists, chat. Names of the journalists killed by Israel 2 days ago in Yemen. These are all journalists. They killed 30 journalists for no reason other than them not liking being criticized correctly, rightfully, for committing genocide. Oh my god. Okay, this is within the 72 hours, by the way. Let's see this. So, after this, CNN asked if Hamas stalled talks. Qatar's PM, Prime Minister / FM, dismissed that notion, noting Hamas had moved far from their initial position with the August 18th proposal, but Netanyahu stalled, never replied, then pushed a brutal plan. He blamed Netanyahu for killing progress and refusing to engage seriously in talks. So that's kind of funny and that's kind of odd because Israel is always saying that Hamas is refusing to do negotiations. That's what Israel is saying. That's what Netanyahu is saying, okay? They're saying that Hamas is refusing to do negotiations. But the Prime Minister in Qatar says that's not true. So let's hear what they have to say, chat.
Hamas delegation there, were they also wasting your time?
Well, actually, look, to be very open, the position that we brought them from to the position that we, on August 18th in Egypt, in Cairo, was far from their initial position. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, we have to go back to the last ceasefire. The last ceasefire that was brokered by Qatar, US, and Egypt, and guaranteed by those three mediators, supposed to hold the talks on day 16. Israel never showed up for these talks. Yeah. They broke the ceasefire.
They did.
And when they became interested in the talks, they came here and they started to put proposals which was very obvious that Hamas will refuse. So, you know, I will not be in between, you know, the game of tactics of the Israelis or Hamas. I'm at the end of the day, I'm a mediator, I'm a facilitator, I'm trying to facilitate those, so I'm trying to bridge those gaps. And what we see, the progress in the position in August, I think that was significant progress. Unfortunately, Netanyahu declined again, and he never responded to that. And they came up with this new proposal, which also was far away from what was proposed in August, what was accepted in August. And they were asking us to pressure Hamas. And we were pressuring them. And we were progressing toward that direction.
And she's like, I just want to see if Hamas... Let's go back to Hamas. Probably. Fucking CNN. But... yeah. Netanyahu, Israel, has been the one refusing to be cooperative, refusing to actually put any valuable input in how to stop this, you know, actually make this ceasefire happen. When the first ceasefire, like kind of the real ceasefire happened, where Palestinians had a moment of peace for just a few, like maybe less than a month. Then all of a sudden, Israel's like, nah, we don't like this. We're just going to bomb you guys again. They're the ones just committing violence. And then look at this. What happened? Apparently, you know, the reason why the leaders weren't even, not that I don't wish death upon anyone, but, and, you know, I don't criticize Hamas as harshly as the world does, because this is fucked up. If Israel's like killing a bunch of children, women, families, and civilians from all over the world, including especially Palestine, I cannot blame them for retaliating against that and doing their best to try to protect their people. But the leaders weren't even in the area where they bombed in Qatar. And that's even more irresponsible, even more evil, because they're just willing to bomb any place where they think Hamas is. Any place, despite it harming other people. That could have like nothing to do with it. I think this was my third source. Let me see this. And so this is within the 72 hours, chat. Within the 72 hours, they also bombed Lebanon. I'm just giving you guys the sources, the evidence of them bombing these 6 countries within 72 hours, okay? 72 hours. I have to show you the evidence. I have to show you guys the sources. Because this is not a lie, and Israel's going to say that it is, no matter what. And so Israel carried out a major wave of strikes Thursday across southern Lebanon and the Bekaa, continuing near daily violations of the ceasefire in place since November 2024. Airstrikes targeted towns near the Syrian border, Janta, Shara, Yafufa, and Kosaya Jerd. Sorry if I'm pronouncing those wrong. Followed by heavy bombing of Ansar and the Zerairia Valley north of the Litani. Residents said at least 5 high explosive missiles were used in Ansar, with blasts heard for miles. At dawn, Israeli forces infiltrated near Aita al-Shab and blew up a school for children with disabilities. Lebanon's social affairs minister condemned the act as a war crime and a clear violation of international law. A Hezbollah fighter, Wassim Chibai, was killed in a drone strike near Sour when his motorcycle was targeted. Hezbollah later announced his death. So they're just like, going after everywhere, and this is actually... The IDF entered Aita Shab this morning and rigged and detonated a school for disabled children. Who keeps allowing them to enter? And this is proof. This is a journalist showing proof of the school that was destroyed by Israeli strikes.
Hi, as promised, I'm reporting now from Aita Shab. And the drone is here, so we're going to...
Aita Shab.
In the early hours of today, the IDF came in and rigged this school with C4 and detonated it.
C4 and detonated.
They came from the road up here. The school is in front of the Khalid Varda area, and there's a road up here to my left, and this is where I suspect that they entered. But this school was privately owned. It wasn't the Lebanese government school. Privately owned, and it was one of the only, or possibly the only, school for disabled children in the country, and now it's gone.
One of the only schools for disabled children in the country, and now it's gone.
Who keeps allowing the IDF to come in the middle of the night into villages in Lebanon, rig homes, and detonate them? Because this is quite a far distance to come in, so somebody must have known.
Somebody must have known. True. What? Why would you do that? For what purpose? Other than incite fear. Please let them find out they fucking around too much. Let them find out. No, that's what I'm hoping too. So they just against human rights and nobody cares? Yes, and that's how it's been for not only 2 years, but since forever. They've been getting away with this way too much. It's fucked up. And it's barely now, many, many years later, that people are realizing it. Okay? It's the truth. So that's that section. I finished one section. So they continue to attack those who recognize Palestine. Here's the pattern. If it's not like a Western country, sorry. If it's not a Western country that provides protection to Israel, if they feel like you recognize Palestine, they will bomb you, and they will bomb your schools, and they will kill your civilians Shit like that. They will plant C4 in a school, in one of the only schools for children with disabilities, and destroy the whole goddamn thing. What? This is unacceptable. Like Shark is saying it in my YouTube chat. Like they have to find out. They're fucking around way too much. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I wonder what they will do if a Latino country do that. Oh yeah, or if fucking a country that is brown or black that is not allied with the United States. What would they do? Of course they'd retaliate like hella. But no one wants to have that conversation. It's too political, apparently. And here's a snippet of people mourning the losses. Lost in Qatar. And like, you know, it's really sad, but compared to what is going on in Palestine, it can't even be comparable. But just because it can't be comparable, one can recognize that no one deserves to be killed simply for trying to stop a genocide, simply for trying to be the host, the mediator into finding a resolution, a ceasefire for what's going on in Palestine. Do you have to bomb within 72 hours, 6 countries? No. And so, Qatar holds a funeral for victims of Israeli attack. It's just like, you know, these are obvious hypothetical questions, but Israel is doing it. So, like, I have to ask the questions. I have to, because it seems like no country cares. Give me a sec to blow my nose. But now they're attacking everyone. It seems like they're just going crazy. And it's a matter of time when they start aiming for actual European countries, you know, at this point. Seeing how close Italy is, seeing how close Greece is, it's kind of crazy, chat. Let me read this. Regional leaders descend on because tonight will be the night that I will over.
Not Nola just cheered 100 bits.
Thank you for cheering 100 bits, Noah. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you a lot. I appreciate you for the support. I'm not muted, right? No, I'm not. I appreciate you for the support. Unfortunately though, redeems and stuff are turned off for TamaTalks since I want to have them be as serious as possible. But it really does mean a lot that you are sending support.
Thank you for
oh my God, Saya, stop!
Free
Palestine. Thank you also, Saya
36 just donated $15 to the PCRF.
Thank you for donating to the PCRF. The PCRF is the Palestine Children Relief Fund. Currently, there isn't any aid going into Palestine because, you know, Israel is doing its thing where they try to, you know, withhold any form of aid entering Palestine. But as of right now, the PCRF is focusing on the children that managed to escape genocide, and they are focusing on rehabilitation, those who have lost limbs, those who have lost family, those who are with serious psychological, trauma. If unfortunately, I don't think we are able to help anyone in Palestine right now. The only way we can help them is actually through these freedom flotillas. But when you donate to the PCRF, you are helping the children that managed to escape genocide and are in a different country, residing in a different country, like, for example, Lebanon, Egypt. I don't know if the US is hosting, but any other European countries, stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for donating, Zaya. Gracias. Free Palestine. I know. Well, I'm just letting people know again because there's many people here. I just like reminding people of that. Okay. So yeah, regional leaders descend on Doha in solidarity as funeral held for 5 Hamas members and 1 Qatari security official killed in Tuesday's Israeli attack. And I think, yeah, they held service for them. It was pretty sad. They ended up actually killing a person from Qatar. 6 people were killed in total, including 5 low-ranking Hamas members. However, the group said its leadership survived the assassination bid. The thing is, it's just you guys saw the bombs. Those were really intense bombs. Many bombs, and they didn't even fulfill their goal, and they ended up killing life for no reason. They ended up ruining ties with, like, Israel ended up doing something really, I think this kind of sparked something, something in a sense, I'm not saying good, but of course I wish that they hadn't bombed 6 countries within 72 hours. But, I think people are finally starting to get the message that Israel is literally just going insane. That scared my boots off. What the fuck? Yeah. Brazil will make rain fire. Brazil never started a war, but always won. That's goddamn right. Bro, I wish to donate, but the conversions of Brazilian reais to US dollars is insane. That's okay. Again, if you can't donate, the best thing you can do is to boycott, educate, and also demand action from your world leaders, protest, stuff like that. You don't have to use money. There are other ways to help. Especially, like I've been saying, there isn't any aid going into Palestine. So even if you donate, it's like, where's that money going sometimes? So I like to clarify that, at least with the PCRF, they used to be in Gaza. But guess what happened? They started killing all of the humanitarian workers, volunteers going into Gaza to help these people. And so a lot of humanitarian organizations stopped going to Gaza because it was kind of guaranteed that Israel would try to kill them. And that's really, really sad. But, there's other ways to help. Let me show you a clip, however, of the it's just really sad. This is the father of the security guard, I'm assuming. Who was it? Relatives of Bad al-Dosari weep bitterly, and his father stays by the coffin until the start of the prayer. Will Qatar just take the attack on the chin? Will Qatar ask the US to do something?
على الدوحة منذ
And it's
يوم.
sad. It is sad. It ain't right.
وأيضا سقوط أحد عناصر القوات الأمن القطرية شهيدا في هذا الهجوم.
They ended up killing
الذي يتم الآن
a civilian.
يعني
الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
وغير صحيحة لأن كل الذي يتم هو كان
I wonder if that's his son.
والإسرائيلي المحاولة
Jesus Christ.
Gracias gozaimasu. Thank you for donating to the PCRF.
Firona Echo, thank you for donating $1.
Firona_Ekcho just donated $1 to the PCRF.
Thank you a lot for doing that. Hey, $1 is $1 and $1 is something. Okay, again, anything helps. It really does. It really does. For example, you know, if we had 15 people get inspired and donate $1, that's $15, you know. Or if not, it's just like Zaya donated $15 with your dollar. Now it's 16. That's a lot of money, you know. Happy to help even a little bit. No, well, thank you for helping even a little bit. That's a lot, you know. A lot of people haven't done that, you know. And not because like they can't, they don't have the means to, but a lot of people don't help because they don't care. But I think it really touches my heart when people are inspired enough to donate to these poor people that are suffering from Israel's fucked up attacks. If we look up in the chat, literally, we've raised $441 for the PCRF out of $333.33. Guys, I really need to update the new goal. I like reminding people of stuff, but my goal is that whenever I reach a charity goal, I will do another charity goal, but up the goal by $100. So technically speaking, the next goal should be $400 or $433. My lucky number is 3, so that's why I like there. You see a lot of 3s in there. But the next goal should be $433. But we basically went over $110 of this goal. That's insane. So again, it means a lot. Thank you for the contribution. It does. It does. It really does. Anything helps. Anything helps. And if you don't have money, again, boycotting. Boycotting is the best way. Do not give the corporations your money. Okay? BDS. But no, yeah. These are very sad scenes. And I think slowly more countries are realizing that, oh my God, when are they gonna aim after us? When are they gonna aim after us? You know, most of the victims here are actually Palestinian people. Again, they were low-ranking Hamas individuals, but, you know, still, a life is a life. And they ended up taking one from Qatar. And just seeing the family, like, losing someone that they love should be enough. And this is times, like, 1,000,000 happening. This is happening times 1,000,000 in Palestine. So after the ceremony, after the bombing in Qatar, you know, the other countries have always been they've always been attacked by Israel at some point. But Qatar, that was kind of a first. And I want to show you guys the slow progression that this attack ended up, you know, pushing Qatar's leadership. So this is the progression of that. Here's some examples. So just in, Qatar says it will cut ties worth $400 billion with the U.S. companies, especially ExxonMobil, if U.S. does not help us to strike. Strike who? Israel. Qatar's actions against Israel will increase gas 10 times prices by 10 times prices in U.S. That is good. That is good. Okay. And then after that, boom. What happened after that? This is here. Just in, Qatar says it will suspend purchase of $150 billion worth of Boeing aircraft if U.S. still supports Israel strikes on Doha. Qatar's one step against American companies would wipe out 250,000 jobs on the U.S., which is a good thing. I see that as a good thing. Hey, if we need a boycott against Israel, fucking hell, we need a boycott against fucking America as well. Because they're the ones letting this shit happen. Next. This one surprised me, but Saudi Arabia calls for revenge against Israel for Qatar bombing. Saudi Arabia. Let me see. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, honestly. I'm like 1 hour ahead my bedtime. But yeah, here's evidence of
the
that.
Occupying authority.
Let's see a little bit.
Israel and the region, the latest of which is the brutal aggression against the sister state of Qatar, which requires an Arab, Islamic, and international response to confront this aggression, and to take international measures to stop the occupying authority and deter it from its criminal practices that destabilize the security and stability of the region. We will stand with the sister state of Qatar in whatever measures it takes without limit, and we will dedicate all our resources. Therefore, we also condemn the continued brutal assaults on our Palestinian brothers in Gaza and the persistence in committing crimes of starvation and forced displacement.
The thing is that all of these countries, or not countries, but like Saudi Arabia, for example, like the Muslim countries with the most power haven't really been saying much. And so after this attack, like it kind of like sparked this whole thing where like countries with more power that are allies as well to a certain extent are kind of standing up against Israel. They're like finally talking shit. They're finally talking shit. Qatar will discuss the response to the Israeli strikes on Doha with 57 Muslim countries starting today. So this is breaking news 2 days ago. Some options include ending diplomatic relations with Israel or imposing an oil embargo on countries that support Israel. That is crazy. That's all we've been like asking for. This is boycotting, chat. Boycotting is important for civilians like you and me, of course. But you know what's more powerful is when the government does it. When the government says, I'm not buying your shit or I'm not selling you shit. That is very powerful because it forces, you know, the whatever country is committing crimes to be like, oh shit, I can't buy my oil now and I need my oil. Maybe I should stop killing children. So this attack sparked like action against Israel. And as I wrote in my little snippet of like the sources I was sharing. Sometimes I just share my thoughts. And I said, this has finally led to the global government action that maybe finally push America and Israel to end this genocidal war. And right when I finished writing that, or as I was writing that, I get breaking news, chat. I get breaking news on my screen, on my iPad, as I'm writing all of my sources, my notes, and preparing for this stream. And I kind of want to show you that. It's kind of crazy. Where the hell did OBS go? Kokoka. So I want to show you I took a screenshot of it because I was like, what? This is kind of crazy. I'm gonna call it Breaking News UN. Okay. Browse. Oh, come on. Downloads? Maybe it's pictures? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Breaking news UN recognition. That's right, chat. Right here. Look, as I was writing all of this. What the hell? This is huge. That's what... Stop. It says right there, United Nations declare Israel's Gaza war a genocide for the first time ever. After 2 years after October 7th, chat. Okay? 2 years after October 7th, by the way. The United Nations finally admits, finally says that what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Palestine, what Israel is doing is a genocide. And that's how I know. That's how I know that slowly but surely, chat, it's happening. Once the Western countries start admitting it, the government, not the people, the government is starting to realize all of the bad that Israel is doing. It's gonna spark what Qatar is doing, the embargoes, the, you know, refraining from doing business with Israel and forcing them to submit and stop genocide. And literally, as I was writing everything, all of my sources for my news channel, I get this breaking news right there. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And so there's a lot that happened, and I'm not even halfway done, but I went over time. I thought I could get through all of this, but I don't think I can, chat. I have work tomorrow, and I can't go over like my sleep time anymore due to doctor's orders, at least during work days. My weekends are where I go crazy. But yeah, I was super excited. I was like, oh my god, this is the first time that the UN has admitted that this is a genocide. And so there's actually a news report on that, or an update in Al Jazeera, saying that the UN inquiry says Israel's war on Gaza is genocide and holds government responsible. Using statements of Israeli officials and evidence on the ground, a UN report finds Israel is committing genocide. Finally, chat. It is happening. The United Nations have agreed. After 2 years of war. After 2 years of war, chat. After 2 years of war. Finally. Fucking finally. Shit. They admit it, chat. They admit it. That Israel's committing genocide. Now, all we have to wait for is when America fucking says that shit. Once America says it, it's over. It's over for Israel. And why is this happening? Is because I truly believe, chat. The boats, the Flotilla boats. The Flotilla boats is what started this. Okay? Those boats started a chain reaction after Israel bombed the first boat, the main boat, chat, and then they bombed another boat like a day after. Then they got excited about Israel got excited about bombing the boats. Then they started bombing like all of these 6 countries within 72 hours, chat. And then finally, like, it started a chain reaction. Now we after 2 fucking years, the United Nations finally says, okay, yeah, this is a genocide. And I was hoping to show you guys how the world is finally taking the first steps, chat. They're taking the first steps. Okay, they're taking the first steps into what I hope is a ceasefire and holding Israel accountable for what the fuck it has done and what it's doing. And I think I wasn't able to finish my Flotilla. I don't know if I should do another TamaTalks in this week or if I should wait till next week. But I think next week, because I just don't have... Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll have to do it till next week, next Tuesday. But I don't think this is half of what I wrote for the Palestine update and the Flotilla update. I was hoping to finish that part and then next week starting the Charlie Kirk talk. But I guess this series has to be chopped up in 3 sections. So part 1 is part 1 of Palestine update. Part 2 is the second half of the Palestine update, including any new updates. And then part 3 is going to be talking about Charlie Kirk and what happened after he was killed live as he was debating people in one of his college tours. I wanted to clarify that Charlie Kirk, although he did not deserve to die the way that he did, a lot of people from both sides, both right wing and left wing, have been glamorizing him, treating him as a hero, when in fact he's one of the reasons why America has been becoming more and more violent. Okay, more and more violent, and I wanted to show you guys that. But I might only be able to do that next week or the week after that, because it's just a lot of information. A lot of stuff has been happening and it's kind of hard to keep up, and it's past my bedtime, so I'm going to have to end it here. I really apologize for the scuff at the beginning. I might edit the scuff out in my YouTube channel. So for whoever wants to watch the VOD, it'll be just easier for the TamaTalks to start immediately instead of having like random people watch me struggle in the beginning for like 15 minutes. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. This has been TamaTalks. I do political commentary focusing on human rights once a week, and I focus on human rights, especially Palestine, because I feel that people need to be educated and people just don't know and they need to know. And finally, we are seeing progression. Finally, the UN, Western powers are finally seeing what Israel is doing, or not even seeing, but admitting to the public that it's a genocide. Therefore, action is for sure to come in terms of holding Israel responsible and facing consequences for their actions. I hope you get some good sleep, Tamashii. Thank you for your educational stream. Thank you, Fiona, for watching and also being inspired to donate. I hope I see you again in the next TamaTalks, and if not the next one, then also on one of my streams where I'm actually, where I'm crazy and vulgar and cringe. But if you want to have fun and forget about, the reality of things for a bit, please feel free to join my other streams. But if not, if you prefer just like, stuff like this, my next TamaTalks is next week at around 10 p.m. JST. Huge, legit giving him so many props, but the media refuses to show any clips of him actually talking. Who? Props? Possibilities? But what are you referencing right now? What did I say? KIRK. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's right. Like, they keep turning him into this American patriot hero who was innocent, but they don't show any of the clips where he's being insanely racist and inciting violence every second of his fucking life. So it's kind of crazy, and I really want to address that and reflect on that. But we'll do that in either part 2 or part 3 of this specific series. So yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow, where I will most likely chill and I might play Hollow Knight and Balatro. Oh, I heard there was also an update on The Binding of Isaac, so I might just play those 3 games 1 hour each. If you guys are interested in watching that, well, watch it. I'll wait for you tomorrow. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow at around 10 p.m. JST, which is like around the same time, I think. I can't do math, y'all. Anyway, bye bye. See you. Thank you for watching. Boop. Oh yeah, and again, no raids during TamaTalks to not force people to acknowledge me and my political beliefs. Bye bye, y'all.
してるから今